Since the beginning of 2017, 9 states have introduced what are known as bathroom bills, which make it a crime for a person to use a public restroom that doesn't correspond to the gender on their birth certificate. But proponents of the bills have experienced a backlash from corporations who have threatened to pull business from states that passed the divisive laws. In March 2016, North Carolina passed the blueprint for these bills, known as HB2, and faced corporate boycotts that cost the state hundreds of millions in business. Those heavy losses have now come home to roost and give a glimpse at what other states considering bathroom restrictions may face down the road.
So right down the street at the Panthers Stadium, Bank of America Stadium, we actually had the AC sold. It was supposed to be here this year. It's not going to be here.
Chaz Beasley is a freshman Democratic state House member from Charlotte. Like a lot of politicians in North Carolina these days, he wants HB2 gone from the national conversation about his state.
About 3 blocks down, over that way, we have the Spectrum Center. We had cancellations of the All-Star game in 2017. We're still hoping that we can get it back in 2019, but that becomes tougher with each passing day. And then right down here, we have the Convention Center. And the Convention Center, we've had several conventions canceled because of HB2. There's real damage, and it's palpable right here at this corner.
Like right here is where it is.
In the last few months, the state has had a reckoning over HB2 that tilted the balance of power away from the religious conservatives who passed the law to the advocates who oppose it. But the battle has become a Cold War. According to PolitiFact, economic pressure activated by LGBT rights advocates cost the state $450 million. From the NBA to PayPal, entertainers and companies turned away from North Carolina.
You know, being the 74th governor of North Carolina has been a privilege and an honor.
Voters kicked out Governor Pat McCrory, the public face of the law in the eyes of opponents. That motivated Republicans who backed HB2 in March to try and repeal it in December. But when Republican leaders pushed a repeal bill, they couldn't find the votes, so the effort fell apart. Each side blames the other for the failure. HB2 is still the law, and so far, the new Democratic governor, Roy Cooper, has not revealed a new plan to repeal it. That's where Reverend William Barber, president of the North Carolina NAACP, comes in. He's calling for a national NAACP boycott of North Carolina over HB2.
Now, there are those that will say, well, you're going to hurt the very people that you're trying to help. Well, they always say that because what we know, though, is they wouldn't have even tried to repeal HB2 a few weeks ago if they weren't hurting in their pockets. What we know is that oftentimes, people who are not moved by morality are moved when moral people hold their money.
The state NAACP voted last week to endorse Barber's boycott idea. But Democrats like Cooper say it will hurt the state more, and the time for economic pressure is over. Barber isn't buying it.
But Democrats reject the very idea of it. Are they missing the point of what this kind of activism can be?
Well, that's up to Democrats. I mean, the governor, naturally the governor is going to say, he wants people to still come. But he also says, he has said very clearly that whatever happens is on the extremists who took over the Republican Party. He understands the frustration. But that's exactly why you need a movement that's not bound by the courtesies or the normalities of politics, partisan politics.
Here's the thing about boycotts. They work. Sometimes. Take Georgia, the state where the popular show The Walking Dead is filmed. In March of 2016, Republicans there passed a bill that protected businesses from having to hire or serve individuals who were at odds with their religious beliefs. Walking Dead producers and others within the state's booming film industry saw the law as discriminatory, and they said they'd pack up if Republican Governor Nathan Deal signed it into law. Given the choice between keeping zombies in Georgia and the evangelical conservative base, Deal chose the TV show and vetoed the law. Similar tactics have worked in Arkansas, Indiana, Arizona, and Tennessee. So for Barber and the NAACP, the answer is simple. More boycott, even if it takes a long, long time for it to work. The group imposed a national boycott on South Carolina for 15 years over the Confederate flag, until lawmakers finally took it off the state capitol grounds following the mass shooting at the Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston. But Beasley sees the boycott as hurting Democrats now that one is governor.
I have, all the respect in the world for Reverend Barber, and I think that in this particular situation, we agree on the ultimate goal of getting rid of HB2. but we disagree on this specific tactic. The way that we make North Carolina successful is by, repealing HB2, but at the same time, I am clearly not rooting for North Carolina to be hurt economically in any way, shape, or form. I want us to be successful.